Hey everybody, it's RaikouRider, and welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy. Now that we have the airship, we can begin Chapter 5, Rewards of Courage. This is the shortest chapter in the game. As a matter of fact, I think I can get it all done in one video. One thing that you'll find when trying to explore the northern continents is there are very few places where your airship can land. Since the northern continent is covered primarily in forests, mountains, swamps, and just places where your airship can't land. Great! Well, these guys are annoying. These are worms. They hit pretty hard. They have a damage stat of 40 and almost 300 HP. And I think they have a slight chance at hitting multiple times per round. I'm not sure, because they never did it to me. Unfortunately, I'm unable to do as much research as H.C. Bailey does into this game. I try, but... I'm just not as knowledgeable as him about this game. I really need to find FF Hackster one of these days. And these are the Cardia Islands. Down here there's a lot of treasure, most of it just gold. But there is some information down here. Because we have the airship, yes, but we don't have a clue what to do. Oh, there are dragons down here. Dragons that, you know, don't completely murder us on sight. I like that. Oh yeah, Chapter 5 of this game is completely freaking optional. If you don't want to do any of the events here, you don't have to, but it's well worth your time, believe me. Bahamut is the only one of the traditional Final Fantasy summons that has been around since the very first game. Ah, the Castle of Ordeal. But what kind of test is it? And how will we prove our courage? And of course the North is more technologically advanced than the South. Hasn't it been that way since the Civil War? Oh wait. Then how are we supposed to know what it is? Maybe that's part of the test. That's the thing about the Cardia Dragons test, is pretty much what you're supposed to do is, yeah, none of the dragons say exactly what the proof of your courage is, but that's the point of the trial. Part of the trial is to discover the object. Basically, what you're going to have to do when you get into the castle is you're going to have to go into every single nook and cranny and bring back what you find. You'll find something there. Now, which one leads to Bahamut? Okay, good, not this one. That's why. These dragons are businessmen. Probably before the fiends came 400 years ago. I wonder if these were just... because these probably weren't your traditional dragons, and if they were, they probably weren't that much taller than humans were. Okay, seriously, what is the point of making the passage to Bahamut's cave this freaking long? At least they had the decency to give Bahamut a special sprite. So once we bring him proof of our courage, he will exonerate us. Cool. See, none of the dragons speak exactly what it is. And if you're and the enemies in the Castle of Ordeal are pretty frustrating if you're not using a guide like this one. Have I been everywhere? Yeah, I have. At least I think so. Yeah, I have been there. Alright, now let's find the Castle of Ordeal. Have I been here? Yeah, I've been in here. I just wasn't sure if I had been to all of them. Alright, now where is this castle? It's around here somewhere. I know it's on the northern end of the map, because we've been everywhere in the south. Where am I? Oh, I stopped just short of it. Okay. It's right down here. Well, the castle isn't here, but your airship can only land in a flat field or a grassy plain. And there are very few of those on the northern end of the world. So often what you'll have to do is you'll have to park your airship in a remote field and hike to your destination. Yeah, I would definitely run from Ankylos at this point. The experience is absolutely not worth it, and they only give 1 gold. The river monsters on the north end of the world are also different. Remember what I said about parking your sailing ship at the mouth of a river? Well, you can do that if you don't want to hike all the way across the world, but I think it's too much of a pain in the butt to go get your sailing ship all the way up here, go through the Castle of Ordeals, and sail all the way back to the desert. You can technically come to the Castle of Ordeals before you have the airship, but there's no reason for you to do it until after you go through the ice cave. Frost gators are pretty nasty. These are some of the new river monsters I was talking about. And frost gators are probably the most dangerous of them because they have almost as much attack power as dragons. Although Neochos are much rarer, but they're pretty close to as much of a problem as the frost gators are. Now, one thing you would definitely want to do before you go into the Castle of Ordeals is use a house and save, because there are a lot of nasty enemies here. Alright, first floor doesn't have any enemies on it. I don't know how you can't not have the crown at this point in the game. So just step on the throne, and you're thrown into a little teleporter maze. All these pillars, when you step into them, will teleport you somewhere else. If you have a choice, always take the lower one. Remember these guys from the Power Peninsula? Well, this is the first place you're expected to be able to run into them. They're not near as much of a problem with your current level, and the experience still is pretty good. But there are some ridiculous enemies on this floor. Like, you can run into up to groups of 7 red gargoyles, 6 sorcerers. You can run into enemies that can get you stoned. Speaking of dangerous enemies, that was a group of sorcerers. Now if I take one more step to the right, I'm going to get into an encounter with some new enemies, so let's go. Thankfully, I only ran into one of them. This is the Mud Golem. You'll be able to run into these guys in Chapter 6, I believe. They have pretty high attack power, 64, but they don't have that much HP. So just try to take them out in the first round. If you can't, though, they can cast fast on themselves. And in this chest, we get the Zeus Gauntlet. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot the Mud Golem poisoned me. Like I was saying about the Zeus Gauntlet, the Zeus Gauntlet is the first piece of equipment that you'll get that can be used as an item in battle. You can use the Zeus Gauntlet in battle as an item to cast Lightning 2 for free. This particular tile I just stepped on is always trapped by 1 to 2 nightmares. The nightmares have a pretty powerful physical attack, and they have a special attack called Snorting, which inflicts darkness. If you care to use spell charges on them, they're weak to ice, but you really don't need to. We're actually on the top floor of the castle, believe it or not. They've only got about 160 HP, I think. Oh, they have 200. Still, that shouldn't be that big a deal for a party with your current equipment. Okay, one more round. The experience is pretty good, but the gold's lackluster. And we get the heal staff. This is one of the most important items in the late game, because the heal staff takes up a weapon slot instead of an armor slot. And when you use it as an item in battle, it will cast the heal spell for free. So if you get into encounters with weak enemies, what you're going to want to do is use that, and you'll be able to save on HP and magic. The gold bracelet offers as much protection as the steel armor, but it's not worth putting on your melee characters, because they have elemental resistant armor, and the property of just being able to resist fire or ice is so much better. This is a new enemy, the Medusa. They only have 68 HP, but they can turn your party to stone with the glance spell. And this is not good. I need these to go away. They're not actually weak to fire like you would think, but because their HP count is so low, a shot of Fire 2 should take them out. I don't think you can run into sorcerers on this floor, but you can run into large groups of red gargoyles, and I actually ran into a group of 7 of them earlier, but thankfully I got a preemptive strike. I just took a moment to get everybody healed up, because a couple party members were running a little bit low on health. Get a house, and this last chest, yeah, this last chest is empty. Well, the rat's tail. That's actually what Bahamut is looking for. But to get out of the castle, we have to fight I think you can actually fight 2 zombie dragons. Just throw Fire 2, Fire 3 at them, whatever you have. They're weak to harm as well, because, well, they're zombies. Oh, cool! Cool, my fighter one-shotted him. Those guys have pretty powerful attacks. Now let's get the hell out of here. Head back to Bahamut's cave. I'm just gonna see you there. And we have returned to Bahamut with the tail. Let's see what he says. And he's going to exonerate us, just like he said, by promoting us to a new class. This is great. The fighter becomes a knight, which lets him equip all of the strongest weapons and armor in the game, and once you start gaining levels, he can actually learn level 1 through 3 white magic. Not terribly useful, but you get a few more cures and cure 2s. The thief gets the biggest upgrade to ninja, which lets him equip almost as many weapons as a fighter. Or a knight, rather. And more importantly, he starts getting spell charges for level 1 through 4 black magic, which lets him cast fast. The black belt becomes a master, which doesn't really do anything to him. The red mage becomes a red wizard, which lets him, I believe, equip a few more pieces of equipment, but more importantly, lets him learn most red, or most white and black magic, excuse me, up to level 7. There are some level 7 spells he can't learn. The white mage becomes a white wizard and can learn pretty much all level 8 all white spells up to level 8, and the black mage becomes a black wizard, which is the same thing except for black magic. The biggest thing that these open up is 1, new equipment, and 2, I'm going to reiterate this again next video, but now that you have the class change, it is imperative that you go back to Crescent Lake and purchase the exit spell. The class change is also the reason why I held on to things like the flame armor, that second ice sword from the Castle of Ordeals, because since Locke has changed class to a ninja, he can equip those now, and that's going to make him absurdly powerful. Next time on Let's Play Final Fantasy, we're going to explore the rest of the world and figure out what we need to do next. See ya!